Okay. Is there anyone else from you, Jay, or are we just speaking to you? Can you hear us, Jay?
So you need to mute your mic if you're not talking, Jay, because otherwise we get feedback and it's going to be hard for you to hear what Glenn is saying also. So
Ah,
just
yeah, we're getting feedback there. I can see that.
that's why I could barely hear what you were saying, Glenn. That's why I think Jay didn't hear you.
Okay. Right. Yeah, Jay. So when I'm speaking or if we're asking any community questions, you can mute your mic 'cause there was some feedback there. I'm not sure if you got problems on the microphone there or try coming back in and that might fix it.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any issues with as long as everybody's just muting their mics while someone else is talking, should be fine.
Mhm.
Oh, did Jay drop? Let me see. Did he forget to do the captcha? Or?
Yeah, mate.
No, there we go. He's back. Yep.
Is that better?
Oh, that sounds better, Jay. Yeah, definitely. There's no feedback there, I think. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you both fine.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Are we just speaking to you today, Jay, or is there anyone else I need to unmute?
No, mate, it'll just be me.
Okay, awesome. Well, if you're ready, I can start the record and introduce you. I can go into the Master Key Finance project.
Sounds good.
Welcome to the WellCoin Talk community. I'm Glenn, your host. Today we have joining us Master Key. Here to speak about the project is the owner, Jay. We're going to be talking about the passive income ecosystem that Master Key Finance is building and lots of other things about the project shortly. But first, can you introduce yourself with your background and experience, Jay?
Hey, absolutely. So my name's Jay. Hey, I've been in the crypto space about since 2016, 2017. Had my highs, had my lows, man, and I got to
We lost Jay there. He seems to have left the chat.
y'all got me?
Well, actually says he might. Hi, Jay. There. Did you do the capture when you joined the main chat? Was it thrown you out or?
As far as I know, I did, yes.
Can't hear you there, Jay.
I could hear Jay. He was just talking. Can you hear me, Glenn?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm looking for a captcha.
When you join, yeah. So maybe if you need to leave, I'll make
you don't
you.
have to worry. Listen, don't worry about it. I made you temporary admin, so no bots will kick you. So we're all good to go.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, that's great, Jay. So yeah, let's go back to your background and experience. Thanks.
Absolutely. So like I was saying, I've been in the crypto space since 2016, 2017. Had my highs, had my lows, rode that roller coaster like most people have through that last bull run, and sitting down with some friends and really talking and saying, hey, there's some things that could be better in this space, and well, that's where we're at today. So we sat down and we thought, what can we bring to this space that'd be powerful? And I think we're bringing something forward that's not only needed, but it's very much wanted, and it's going to be able to facilitate so many flows of BUSD that it's going to be awesome for the space in general. So I'm real excited to talk about it today and to be with you guys.
Awesome, Jay. Yes, and maybe you can give us an introduction to our investors about the Master Key Finance project. That'd be great.
Absolutely. So from the 30,000 foot level, what we wanted to bring forward is really kind of try to solve a couple problems. One problem being, man, there's a lot of good platforms and a lot of good products in this space and some really good case uses that are out there. The problem is a lot of these tokens are barely surviving. They're struggling to exist. They're not able to get their name or their case use and utilities out there for people to know about. And we really want to facilitate that and kind of be a springboard for tokens or coins that may be struggling. The second thing is far too often the holder don't have a choice. Yeah, they can buy and they can sell their tokens, but they're constrained to the KEX or the DEX that they choose to use in order to do so. And really, with the case uses that we're bringing forward, we're putting that power back into the holders' hands, letting them name their own price, letting them choose who and when they sell. And also, we're going to reward the entire process. So we got some awesome utilities that are going to be live right out the gate at launch. That's going to really create a lot of volume and a lot of movement on the platform.
I think one of them utilities is the Bitcoin marketplace, and maybe we can go into details about that for community investors.
Absolutely. So it is a marketplace, right? We're going to call it the master portal. And in this marketplace, what you're going to be able to do is a holder is going to be able to do a couple of things. They can choose to trade a token for another token. They can choose to sell a token, or they can choose to simply soft stake a token. And soft staking is really just a term that I use to identify that, hey, maybe you have a token or in your portfolio that you want to hold on to. Maybe it's not doing real well. Maybe it is doing well. Maybe you have no intentions to get rid of it. Well, why not make a little money while you hold it? So you're going to be able to go into the portal and soft stake that token. I'm going to reward you for doing so at a 1-to-1 match, not to exceed 10 million a day. There's no smoke and mirrors. There's no crazy APY. There's no snake oil or hidden approach. If you want to stake it for a day and pull it out the next day, I'm going to give you a day's worth of staking in order to do so. For the trading and for the selling, it's basically just that. If a holder wants to go on there and say, hey, I gave $100 or 100 BUSD for token X, but right now token X is only worth 55 BUSD, but I still want 100. I can go in there and say I want 100 BUSD for token X. Now the question is who's going to give you 100 BUSD for token X if it's so they can go to a DEX and buy it for 55? Well, they won't. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to reward the entire process to make that eligible and make that happen. And what's going to happen is if you list token X for 100 BUSD, I'm going to give you, as the individual that made the listing, a 1-to-1 match not to exceed 10 million a day, every day. But I'm going to put a bounty against that token too, of exactly half the reward. So if it's maxed out at 10 million, there'll be a 5 million bounty put against that token. That'll increase by that amount every day. Sooner or later, there's going to be enough master key tokens posted against that token X. Somebody's going to buy it for 100 BUSD just to reap the benefit of the master key tokens that are earning crazy BUSD rewards. So really trying to encourage and create that whole movement in that process. For the trade, same approach, except for asking for a monetary amount. You're asking to swap it for a token. The holder gets to pick what token, what amount of that token, and really set the rules. And that a rewards process takes place inside the portal. Once the transaction is complete, the master key tokens, the asking amount and prices and everything is dispersed back to those wallets and completes the process. So it's pretty phenomenal. Been in development since about the 8th of January of this year. Pretty complex. That's a total of about 7 contracts talking to itself. Yeah, we're putting it through the ringer right now. Development's been entirely completed since the end of October. So it's been in full test mode for the month of November. Really getting ready to ramp it up and kick it out to my VIP advisory council here in about a week. And they're going to tear it apart too and really test it and stretch it to its limits and make sure we're good to go.
Okay, great, Jay. So how does it work for investors then? So you would go into or with any on BSC, Ethereum, what you use, and then you're testing prices for people inside the app.
Yes. I'm sorry you broke up a little bit there on that last question.
Okay, yeah. I was just with tokens, you'll be able to go into the master key portal. Is it going to be BSC tokens, stable coins, altcoins, shit coins, anything?
Well, it's not anything. So every token that's authorized to be enter the portal will be a vetted token, right? It's got to have established liquidity. It's got to be something that's in that my platform is asking and requesting that it be on there. I don't want to make it so crazy that a nefarious act can happen. Our security protocols, bar none, it's very high, but I want to keep it that way. So this will be a moving pendulum, if you will. So anytime my holders want to see a certain contract address able to be utilized on in the portal. That'll be brought forward. It'll be vetted. And then every 30 days, we're going to remove and add tokens as needed to the portal. If it's not being used, then we'll remove it. If it's a requested one and it's past the vetting, it'll be added to the portal to be able to be used. Does that answer your question?
So yeah, is there like a profit built into the Master Key portal, a small tax in and out, and then I think you're building utilities, into the future as well, where you're planning to do burns as well.
Absolutely. So yes, there is a you got to pay to get in, pay to get out, right? There's that charge at the door. It was originally $3 worth of BNB. We've reduced that. It's now $2.50 or two and a half BUSD worth of BNB and 10 million Master Key tokens to get in and to get out. So the 10 million Master Key tokens are instantly burnt. That's one of our burn protocols. The $2.50 worth of BNB is going to be sent large in part to the rewards wallet. And then, of course, escrow and incentives. And basically, the escrow incentives is to back to the liquidity of everything that's in the portal at one time. At a certain time, when it gets large enough to be able to back the portal, the remaining of those rewards will go to the actual rewards distributor within the portal. Now, the portal will pay out daily. It's very important I talk about this because it is different than your typical tax payout of BUSD. Typically, what will happen is if you are a holder of Master Key Finance tokens, you are eligible for 10% of that daily payout of BUSD coming from the portal distributor. So what feeds the portal distributor is every single Master Key token inside the portal that's being rewarded for a reward or for a bounty. As that is accumulating, all those tokens are earning rewards. Well, all those rewards in the portal don't have an owner yet because it's waiting for the transaction to be complete. So all of those rewards that those Master Key tokens are earning are going to one distributor. That distributor will pay out daily. 10% of that will go to every holder of Master Key. It's not on a token to token ratio like the token taxation of buy sell. It's on a distributor. So we did it by design. If 1,000 people hold Master Key, that 10% is divided amongst 1,000 people, not the token ratio. The same with the 25% for the flex reward. Those that hold 500 billion or more of Master Key tokens, they qualify for 25% of that daily payout. So that 25% is again divided by how many people qualify at 500 billion or more tokens. I don't care if you have 21 trillion or if you have 501 billion, those two holders get the same amount of that 25% dump that's done daily. It's a major incentive. It's going to create a lot of volume, a lot of movement. And as the marketplace portal grows, those rewards are only going to compound and get larger and larger and larger over time. Those two of our major payouts that's happening inside the portal. Again, like I said, that BNB fee to get in and out, a large portion of that goes to the holders as well. I mean, even our merchandise line, 75% of the gross revenue that's made off of our merchandise line goes right back to the rewards distributor to be dispersed to our holders of Master Key token. So this thing pays upon pays upon pays. We put the holder first and foremost. That's our lead core team member. That's why I tell the guys all the time, hey, our lead member is our holders themselves. And if we're not doing right by them, we're hurting the team. So that's every step of the way. Every decision we make is the holders first and foremost. And that advisory council I have, which is comprised of all my private sale holders. So these are heavy investors. They're vested for 6 months. They're in the advisory council. So every decision we make or getting ready to make, we vet it to them. We talk, we have that conversation. We have that deep conversation of saying, hey, this is where we plan on going. What's that litmus test? What's the pulse of the community? And how do they feel about this decision? And really keeping them snap linked in with this every step of the way, because that's important. That's our base. And as long as our holders are happy, we're going to have a hell of a platform.
Okay, great, Jay. I think there's still feedback coming. If you can maybe mute your mic and then you'll hear me and the community investors. Yeah, otherwise I think my voice is breaking up, someone was just saying. And you've also got the soft staking, so I was wondering how that works for investors. Is that locked, unlocked staking? Can we go into the soft staking for community investors?
Absolutely. So the soft staking function is basically everything without the bounty, right? So I want to hold on to my token. I don't want to trade it. I don't want to sell it. I want to earn some master key tokens because it's in my portfolio anyway. So I put it on the platform as a soft staking function. I'm going to reward that at a 1-to-1 match, not to exceed 10 million a day of master key tokens, and you can let that sit as long or as little as you want. And when you pull it out, you're going to be able to take master key tokens with you to do so. So really, just trying to give something for something you're trying to hold on to anyway. We want to reward that process. And of course, soft staked master key tokens are in that rewards protocol in the portal. Once that individual who's soft staked his or her token, when they pull it out, they get the reward of master key comes with their token, thus removing it from the master portal and removing it from the rewards qualifications. But really gives the rewards at that point are still going to that master key token, but now they belong to that individual who originally soft staked their token. Hopefully that made sense without getting too complicated.
Okay, Jay. Yeah, it does. And also, you're going to be rolling out, I think, a total of 7 utilities. So I think there's like a timeline of each 30 days. You're going to roll out more utility which supports the token, and you're going to have burn features based into each utility you launch. So I'm wondering if there's any details about the next process for the next utility, the third utility, and that you like I say that's going to support the passive income and the ecosystem and the master key finance.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, everything that we do, the holders first and foremost. Utility 3 is about 85, almost 90% already. It'll roll out right there about the end of February, 1st of March timeframe. Utility 4 is right on its heels, probably looking at April, May timeframe. Utility 5 looking at late August, and then Utility 6 right around the end of the year, because that's a pretty complex one. I've got a hell of a dev team. We're a 100% US based team. My dev team, we're all veterans. So my dev team, lead team guy is a veteran as well. He's comprised of about 4 developers, all stateside, all really good at what they do. A lot of extensive blockchain experience working for the government. So it's really going to be powerful. And I got somebody working on everything right now. But we try to really mass our efforts for the next thing out the door, because the worst thing you can do is not hold to a timeline, not bring something forward when you say you're going to bring forward. And I plan to under promise and over deliver every damn step of the way. I want people to constantly be happy and constantly be excited and wondering what's next and when it's coming. And when it happens, they're surprised by it. So yes, several things in there, and everything will always feed into the system. So our goal is at some point have about a total of 20 different flows of BUSD or rewards coming back to the holder at some point, once we're said and done with all our case use and utilities. We're nowhere near there yet. We're almost halfway there, so a lot to come.
Awesome, Jay. And yeah, if we can go into the tokenomics breakdown and the buy and sell tax, I know 10% is in BUSD rewards for investors holding the token, so that's great for passive income. What does the rest of the buy and sell tax break down, and how is the tokenomics, distributed?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, 10% is buy sell rewards of BUSD. We have 1% going to the staking protocol to maintain it. I put a firm staking protocol in place out the gate, about 150 trillion tokens, or 15% of the overall available tokens. So, feeding into that to ensure that it keeps the lifeblood going in it as well. We have 1% will go to liquidity. 1% will go to, hold on, I don't have all my notes in front of me here. So you got 1% staking, 1% liquidity. We have marketing development, the team, of course. And the next major player is 2% will go to marketing, 1% liquidity, 1% to staking. I'm doing math in my hands here. We have 1% will go to development, 4% goes to the team, and I have 1% going to, daggum, I forget. And I apologize for that. I just don't have it in front of me. I'm actually at the Thanksgiving celebration, and I'm out here in the back of the house.
No problem, Jay. Yeah, let's move on with you're launching on Vault Finance on the launch pad. So the private sales finished. I think you were mentioned earlier on. I think I'm getting feedback if you maybe Yeah, mute your mic, and then you'll be able to hear me, and investors can hear what I'm asking about the launching on the Volt Finance Launchpad. So the private sales finished, and I think you did mention there's a vesting period for the private sale. How much was raised in the private sale, and when can investors get involved in the pre-sale? What's the minimum maximum contributions?
Absolutely. I have about 20 more slots remaining for the private sale. So I've raised about 300 BNB to date. I got about 100 BNB to go. But as you know, with most private sales, those are hand selected individuals, right? That's a firm base, that's staples in the community, that's really, able to make an impact in whatever, crowds that they choose to run in. The stipulations behind the private sale, it is vested for 6 months, for a period of 6 months, but rewards are live at launch. So they're going to be able to claim 100% of their tokens before launch. Rewards will be live throughout the entire process. The vesting hamstring is they won't be able to transfer or sell the tokens for a period of 6 months. The rate was a ratio of 1 BNB to 600 billion tokens. So a max purse on our project is 3 trill. No wallet will be larger than 3 trill at launch, and that's going to be a private sale investor. For whitelist, we have about 400 slots. It's a hard cap of 800 BNB. So you do the math there, right? 2 BNB a piece if everybody got a chance to get in. 1 BNB is the minimum, 5 BNB is the max. I'm going to release the whitelist for the first 200 whitelists for 3 seconds. Then I'm going to release the remaining for up to 3 minutes. If the hard cap's not met, I'll release it to the public. Now, here's some kickers, right? We love to give money away. So we understand the private sale had a heck of a good deal, so we're trying to make a good deal for everybody else. So there are 2 1,000 BUSD rewards that will be rewarded to whitelist holders only. To qualify, you have to buy at least 2 BNB, and if you buy 3 BNB or more, you'll qualify for 2. So to qualify for 1 is 2 BNB or more. To qualify for 2, you buy 3 BNB or more. I really expect this thing to go really fast. All the metrics are pointing that way. Talking to the fellows over at Vault and Novation, it's going to be real exciting. It's going to be a fireworks show, and we're looking forward to it. Now, for some reason you are not able to secure a whitelist spot or a private sale slot, we will reward 5 total 1,000 BUSD rewards for those that buy 2 BNB or more in the first 24 hours of launch. So that's an added kicker, right? We want to make it fair for everybody. So that's going to be available if you buy within the first 24 hours of launch. We're going to have a split liquidity, so we'll be available everywhere. We're going to have 50% of our liquidity on Pancake and 50% of our liquidity on Novation. Not real worried about arbitrage. We already got the devs looking into that. That's not a concern of ours at all. We just want to be available on any platform. So kind of leaning forward in the foxhole on that. We are currently in the middle of whitelist giveaways, and we're about halfway through our 400. So if that's something you're interested in, by all means, come over to our Telegram, check us out, get on our socials, inquire about the whitelist slots. There's competitions and giveaways going on all the time. We're trying to make it fun. If you feel like you're one of those grassroots ground investors, somebody who wants to get into that extended vested period for a real good deal on tokens, you need to reach out to me directly. I'm all over the chat. Talk to people about it. Those VIP investors, they're on the chat. They're available as well to have those discussions about our white paper and the in-depth conversation. But a lot of opportunities to get in this thing early. We launch in about 17 days on the 10th of December, and it's going to be awesome.
Okay, great, Jay. And with you saying there's going to be 7 smart contracts in the master key portal, I'm wondering if there's going to be smart contract audits on them and smart contract audits on the master key finance token as well.
Absolutely. We're in the middle of audits right now with InterFi. That's who we chose to go with. A lot of people say, why not this? Why not that? Well, my lead dev is an auditor. So really trying to pick somebody that's, not even going to be an embarrassing or waste of our time. So trying to pick a legit audit company to go through. We chose InterFi. They've got our materials now, and they're doing all those audits as we speak.
Okay, great. And what's the marketing plans going forward? What are you planning to market the master key finance token, say for the first quarter after launch?
Hey, absolutely. So, it amazes me, my team, right? Phenomenal. So we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, Facebook, all the socials, YouTube, Reddit, you name it. Got an interview coming up with some Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance interviews. Really getting the word out there fast and hard and heavy. We've got some major ambassadors in the space. Travel Lad is one of our private sale holders. He signed on. So got some real good big names in the space that are really doing some, unasked carrying of the water for us because they believe in our project. And I think, the best growth that you can have in this space is word of mouth. And the word's getting out there, and we're bringing forward something, like I said earlier, that's wanted and needed in this space. And we're real excited about that. We do plan to bring on Evolution QR in Q1 of 23. I don't know how much you know about Evolution QR, but at the end of the day, as an owner, I have a hard problem with throwing money away at marketing and really not getting a guaranteed ROI, a return on investment. Again, trying to take care of my holders every step of the way. Evolution QR is going to provide me the ability to say, hey, if you invite your mom or dad and they come and buy this token, I'm going to reward you for doing so. So I've taken 3 trillion tokens out of the 20 trillion that I've set aside for future hires, and I'm going to give those 3 trillion tokens away as incentives. When somebody comes and buys $100 of Master Key tokens, you're going to get a percentage of that given to you. Now, I'm not taking from the individual who buys. I am going to give up the tokens from my contract, say, here you go. Here's a percentage because they used your QR code to buy. Here's the tokens to you. So a great system, a great program. I really just got to turn the tokens over to the Evolution QR team, and they're going to execute that for me. I don't even have to touch it, which is phenomenal. So those tokens will be airdropped to that individual if somebody uses their QR code to buy, and that's going to create real good word of mouth growth because you're actually going to get rewarded for shilling a project that you believe in.
I see, Jay. Awesome. And you've also got the community treasury. What's the profits go from with the community treasury? You've got the BUSD reward passive rewards we've talked about, and then also there's bonuses if you hold so many tokens. I think you get 25% in another part of the utility attached to Master Key Finance token.
Yes, absolutely. So there's 3 rewards distributors inside the case use utilities and the token and the tokenomics of itself. The main treasury, if you will, I don't call it that, but let's say that the main escrow account for the token itself. We are a company established in the United States, so we're an LLC out of the state of South Carolina. I've got to pay taxes, and I'm not an offshore account and all those other things. But the main purpose for the funds that are being generated and held by Master Key are to back the liquidity in the master portal. First and foremost, I'm not required to do that. That's not a have to, but I want my holders to have the security that if something crazy or nefarious was to happen, we are going to be able to back that action and refund our holders that are utilizing that system.
Okay, awesome. Let's open it up to the rest of the team. If anyone's got a question for Jay at Master Key Finance, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Glenn, I was listening and it sounds super exciting, to be honest. Like, I haven't seen anything like this. And you briefly mentioned at the beginning, and I think because you've been talking about it and building it for so long, you kind of take it as a given. But what you were describing at the beginning, where people will be able to set a certain price, and then somebody would actually be incentivized to get those tokens at that price. This is something a little bit, I wouldn't say revolutionary, but it's not something you see every day. So I'm more curious about your selection process going forward. Like, do you have like sort of a plan of what's going to be first onboarded there, what are going to be like some of the coins, or maybe do you have some sort of like a structure? It's like, okay, we're only going for top this, or I don't know, staying away from the fan tokens and all that and going for the utility tokens. What are your plans around that?
Man, that's a good question. And really, we got a list, right? We're keeping it close. So we're going to talk to our VIP council with it. Now, this list is going to grow. It's going to grow over time. There's high risk, medium risk, low risk tokens. What will an insurance company back? There's great platforms that are already out there doing that and are already doing the hard work for us, if you will. My biggest concern is not so much of the high, medium, and low risk categories. I leave that up to my development team and my COO to kind of really ramrod that piece on what tokens should we get on a platform. My biggest concern is the last thing that Master Key Finance wants to do is be the downfall of any other platform. Now, one may ask, well, how could that happen? Well, it's through the taxation process. Tokens like me. For instance, I don't charge a transfer tax. Well, by not charging a transfer tax, moving tokens in a system like mine negates buy and sell taxation, which at the end of the day is the lifeblood for a lot of these platforms. So, how do I work around that system and still bring the best quality option forward to the holder? So, I am in talks with a lot of CEOs and a lot of owners to get me whitelisted so that there's no taxation when dealing with my contract code. Um, and if they are on in a zero transactional tax type situation, I'm going to give you an example. A token has a 10% buy, a 10% sell, and no transfer tax. If they came to my platform and was able to move the tokens from, the seller to the buyer, both taxes were negated, and it's really a workaround of the system, which would hurt that platform. Now, the deal that I would try to make with that CEO is, hey, when that holder wants to come utilize my platform, I'll do an internal taxation of it. Don't worry about that. Just whitelist my contract code. What I'll do is I will tax it 6%. I'll tax 6% in and 6% out. Now the holder still gets the best deal. He's selling or she's selling their tokens with a 6% tax rate, better than any Kex or Dex could possibly do. The buyer is doing the same thing. They're buying at a 6% taxation rate, better than any Kex or Dex could possibly do. But I've made that sum of 10% for that platform that I will send to them. And the 2% will be held inside the master key portal to be cashed in at a later date, incentivized to our VIP holders, or whatever case, I haven't even decided that piece yet. But that's an example of what I'm trying to get through with negotiations with other CEOs and platforms. Still generating a use case, making it a great deal for the holders, but not hurting inadvertently or advertently platforms that are like mine.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. I haven't even thought of that. Like I knew like you can probably whitelist wallets and everything like that, so your protocol can interact with everything. But that's actually a really good way of doing it, to have this sort of like curated deals. And because all these tokens that are on the say higher tier of taxation, right? You get tokens with 8, 10, 15%, whatever, Once they want to hit those centralized exchanges, they have to whitelist the exchange. They have to kind of take down the tax and all that. But if they're using your platform, you're actually collecting part of it on their behalf and sending it. And then there's another incentive because people can actually trade at a discount. So it's a win-win for people. It's really exciting.
Absolutely, and I must add too. Now, if a holder wanted to use the soft staking fundamentals, I wouldn't tax that token at all. And I've told the partners that, hey, I'm not going to tax a token that wants to come in and just soft stake it. If they're not trying to trade it or sell it, I'm not going to tax it, because again, I want the benefit to go to the holder. Now there is that flat fee to get in and out of the portal, right? You're gonna pay your dues. The 10 million master key tokens and $3 flat rate of BNB to get in and to get out. Now the 10 million master key tokens, they're instantly burnt. That's only creating value of my base token. The $3 of BNB is used for a lot of reasons, to add to that escrow account, to a significant chunk goes to the rewards wallet. It goes back out to the holders. It's just another way to kind of reward my holders. But I want to be known as a place to go for the holder to be able to make the decision and the opportunity to do what he or she may want to do, and also be known as the most passive income rewarding token in existence, all the while bringing a serious case use to the community that's really needed. And man, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you see utility 3 and 4. There's some powerhouse utilities coming. All of them are trying to correct or fix an issue that's in the crypto space currently.
I gotta admit, I'm already excited, so I'll for sure be following this. But yeah, a lot of cool features that you don't see every day, and then yeah, I think you're on the right track to becoming like a real just passive reward token, just holding and earning. And whether people realize that when you're looking at these I don't know, astronomical APYs on tokens and all of this, that's not sustainable. But what you want to look for is actually the ecosystem that's actually looking to build up value from outside of the ecosystem, right? So bringing either through partners, through it doesn't matter what it is, but you want to branch out. You want this ecosystem to not be sort of tied into itself, right? So the way you're doing it is kind of very open and very inviting to a lot of other people. So I think it's super exciting. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you said that, right? I don't know anybody who's had the same token for a year unless they died or lost their seed phrase. So yeah, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on out there. It's a flat rate. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you what I told you I'm going to give you, and you're going to have what I told you I was going to give you. And it's very cut and dry. There's no smoke and mirrors. Partnerships are going to be powerful in this space. Hey, there's going to be some some tokens that don't want to come to the table and have the conversation, and that's fine. I'm still not going to take down that platform. I'm going to encourage their holders. Hey, if you want to see it on the platform, talk to your team, have them come to the table and have a conversation. Because you think about it, a platform that decides to allow and work with me and allows to take the minimal taxation but still get the full taxation to the platform because it changed hands and really taking the power out of that KEX and DEX. What's that doing? That's creating a holder. That's creating volume and movement of your token. It's getting the eyes out there. They're going to see it in the master portal. There's only positives that can come from this. And I agree. I think it's going to be very powerful in this space. And I'm mildly entertained by the market. And I tell people that all the time. This thing is designed to be the lifeblood of tokens that are failing. It's designed to give value to other tokens. I was designed in a bear market to perform in a bear market. So when it's 75 degrees and sunny outside, this thing's going to be in a damn dead sprint and it's going to be doing very well. So getting in early, I encourage everybody to do so. Hey, we're going to be a mover and shaker in this space, and I think it's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, Jay. I can definitely see it. I can see your passion, and yeah, it's something decided for people to get involved with. So yeah, thank you for entertaining me with some answers. It's looking good for me, man. Yeah.
I appreciate it, brother.
Thanks for the questions, actually. And I was wondering, Jay, as well, what's the size of the core team and the extended team, the mods, the admins you're building for the Master Key Finance project?
I will speak on the core team. There's 5 of us. We're all vets, right? So we're real tight, real tight knit. We've known each other for years, not months. For the extended team, I think I'm up where around 15, 16 total right now. For those that are doing the bidding for us. Hey, we have a motto, right? It's true trust and transparency. If I feel or anybody on the core team feels that that's violated by anybody, true trust or transparency, I will instantly remove you in a heartbeat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, rebuttal, or talks about it. You're got to go. Because I can't be looking over my shoulder wondering if you're carrying the water for the team. If that's a question, if I've already got to ask myself that, you're the wrong guy or gal for the job. So we got a really good extended team, really good partners in this space, man. The DeFi space, yeah, it's a wild, wild west, but damn it, it's fun. Everything about it's fun. Everything about it's fluid. You can make money and you can lose money. You can make bad investments and you can make good ones. But one thing that is always true is you can make some dadgum lifelong friends in this space and really do some great things. Hey, we're fully doxed KYC. We went with the antidox, which is significant. I mean, I was actually impressed with the amount of doxing requirements that they had. I told you we're going through Inter5 for the audit. We got good friends with Vault and Out and 8-Bit. There's some great platforms out there that are doing some great things. And we've just loved every bit of this, every step of the way. And when I'm looking for talent, we all kind of share a lot of the same talent, but we all know where to go to find the right talent. And that's one of the hardest things in this space is knowing where to go to get what you need to get done. So that's kind of the size that we're messing with right now. Like I said, not large, not uber crazy. Not greed. That's another big thing that I talk about all the time with my team. As soon as greed starts to get involved, that's been the downfall to many a platform. Let's always keep our eye on the ball. It's critical to mention too that nobody on my core team is doing this as a primary source of income, right? This is just because we're passionate about the space. We think we can really bring something forward. A lot of our own money's into it. Like I said, we've been in development since the 8th of January. And everything's got to go through a three-phase testing process before we'll even remotely get ready to release it on the street. So really putting this thing through the ringer. I mean, hopefully we identify anything that could possibly go wrong, even though I'll have a team of devs standing by on launch day. But the idea is on launch, if you want to run over to the master portal and start plugging tokens in there and playing with it, you absolutely will be able to. We want to be a reward passive income token, but any token that's passive income or a tax token that's not bringing case use and utility to the table is nothing more than a dadgum Ponzi scheme, and we do not want to be put in that category. So yeah, that's kind of the extent of our team.
Awesome, Jay. Yeah, looks like you're building a really solid team there and expanding. And also, you touched on partnerships there. Have you been speaking to some partnerships that are going to be coming out in the future with Master Key Finance?
Yeah, absolutely right. So right out the gate, I'm in the I'm in the web of the Vault Novation platform, man. And talk about Chris and Vault Novation. The guy's building a powerhouse web of just good allies and people that are good in this space and work well together. Yeah, and I got some that are outside the space, right? And then major ambassadors. We got 2 or 3 powerhouse Twitter influencers. I mentioned Travel Ad, right? He's one of our VIP holders as well. Just really building those partnerships because a lot of times it doesn't matter what kind of product you have if people don't know about the product that you have. So it's really who's going to be the best to carry that water and being a champion of. But I need you to have skin in the game, man. I don't want to I don't want to pay you $250 for a tweet. I'm not taking that approach. I want you to have skin in the game. I want you to come and say, hey, tell me about it. This is a great product. I not only do I want to own it, but I want to talk about it on my own accord. That's the type of influencer. That's the type of partner or ambassador that I'm looking for. And we've been lucky. We've lined up some great ones. We got talks going on nonstop. I mean, this is a sprint to the launch. There's a lot of great things going on, a lot of more things getting ready to come out. Like I said, a lot of articles getting ready to be released, several YouTube videos. We're on TikTok, which I didn't even know or understand how powerful that's been so far. So I will say, I don't know what you got for our socials, but if you want to start at our Telegram and just check us out, we spread like wildfire. We are literally everywhere.
Awesome, Jay. Let's open it up to community investors. Let's see. Syed, you had a question for Jay here at Master Key Finance. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Okay, so I want to know that when users want to sell any token on the Master Key marketplace, how will you be vetting a particular token, and will the VIP advisory council vote on the particular token to get listed for selling on the marketplace?
Yeah, so we're going to create a DAO on our website that's going to be like, hey, we want these tokens to be on with open within the portal. Now, you got to be careful with this, right? So anybody with an iPhone 14 in about 30-45 minutes can generate a token. That's not hard to do, but it's getting a token with true established liquidity. No proxy contracting, open in source, very nefarious type. Tokens can be allowed into the portal for known reasons. We don't want something to get in there that's nefarious. It's going to drain the portal or do something crazy along those lines. But yes, the VIP council will be very involved on what tokens we're bringing on, and why we want those brought on. And like I said, we're looking at a rhythm of about every 2 weeks or every 30 days or so, bringing in, adding, or removing tokens from the contract to be authorized inside the portal.
Okay, got it. I was also wondering that will the live value of a particular token listed will also be displayed on the marketplace, correct?
Yes. So we'll have a drop down list if you wanted to go in there. So really what's going to happen is when you connect your wallet to the master portal, it's going to ask you 1 or 2 questions. Are you looking to, sell or trade or soft stake or buy? So it's going to ask you, I'm sorry, 3 questions. It's going to ask you whether or not you want to buy, sell or trade or soft stake. It's based off of whatever decision you make, you're going to be taken to that page. You're going to connect your wallet. It's going to say, okay, hey, you have these tokens that are authorized to have a transaction done with them. And if you're looking to buy, you can literally tap the token name or contract address into the search bar, and it'll show you what's available. We'll even have a highlighted listing on the portal that'll say, hey, here's the token with the highest available bounty right now. Because as this thing gets moving and more people start to use the portal and our burn functions really kick in, the value of master key is going to go up exponentially. So some people may be looking for that high value bounty. Hey, there's 1.2 trillion bounty sitting here. I may want to buy this token. I don't even know what it is because I want that bounty of master key. So that'll be highlighted at the top. Yeah, we're excited about the portal. We've really been playing with it a lot, so it's going to be exciting.
Got it. Okay, so I was also thinking that will the native token be only going to be used on your marketplace for buying various tokens, or BNB will also be accepted and stablecoin BUSD?
No, so BUSD will not be a whitelisted function because you got to understand my awards protocol inside the distributor inside the portal will pay in BUSD. So I don't want to get that confused with a payment. So BNB will be whitelisted. It will be an authorized token to be used as payment. BNB, not BUSD. So BNB, and then of course any of the tokens that's
Okay, okay.
authorized to come inside and outside of the portal will also be authorized as a trade payment.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Okay, you will be launching on Novation Launchpad. So I was wondering, why did you decide to launch on Novation platform? Do you have any partnership with the Vault Finance? And I also wondering that Master Key Finance is under the umbrella of the Vault Finance.
We are friends and partners with Vault Finance, but make no mistake, we're not under an umbrella. I chose to launch on Novation through Vault Finance because I'm a math guy. 25 years as an engineer. Words change, words have different meanings, even though they're spelt the same. But math is constant and it never changes. And the fact is, with the Novation Sell Less contract, that can't be beat. And I don't know how much education is in the space on the Novation, but that is revolutionary in itself. Imagine if you do $100 buy on a 10% tax token, the buyer, the holder sees no change. You're going to get, 90% of those tokens. You're going to get $90 worth, regardless of how it's taxed. The difference between Novation and Pancake is when Pancake taxes that token, they send 10% of those tokens to the base contract as part of the tax, the 10% taxation, which then requires the base contract to sell those 10% in order to get the funds that they need to operate that business. The problem with that sale process is it impacts the chart. It hurts the charts negatively. With the sell less approach that Novation's doing, tax at 10%, you still get 90% of your tokens. That's not a problem. The only difference is they're taxing the BNB going in and not the tokens. So me as an owner, they're sending me the 10% in BNB, which doesn't require me to do a token sell-off, which does not impact my chart. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm allowed to pay the bills then and with no chart negativity. So from an owner's standpoint, it's almost ludicrous not to choose Novation and having a significant amount of your liquidity, if not 100% of your liquidity established with them. Like I said earlier, there's a good chance that I will consolidate liquidity in the future. But again, that's something I got to talk to my council and team about. But with that kind of tokenomics and concept, I just don't see the likes of Pancake even being able to compete with it unless they change their entire algorithm the way they do work.
Okay, got it. It makes sense. Okay, final question. So I want to know that what factors will determine the reward or bounty on any token, and will the amount of the token listed by the seller will also will play a role, and also when any buyer is buying the particular token, will they be getting all the bounty or some bounty or rewards will also go to the seller?
Okay, so for a sell or a trade action inside the marketplace, the portal, whoever's making the posting or the listing, whoever's selling or trading, initiating the post, they're going to get a 1-to-1 match, not to exceed 10 million a day. So if you list 500 tokens for sale, you're going to get 500 master keys on a 1-to-1 match daily. The bounty posted against any token is exactly half of the reward. So the benefit's always going to go to the individual selling, not necessarily the individual buying. The benefit to the individual buying is going to increase daily as well, which is just that, it's a bounty. It's going to increase over time to a point that somebody sooner or later is going to give the asking amount to receive the bounty. When that transaction is complete, the bounty goes to the buyer with whichever tokens that they traded or bought, and the reward of master key instantly goes to the seller with the asking price, be it tokens and or BNB. So yeah, that would complete the transaction. So the reward to the poster is always a 1-to-1 match, not to exceed 10 million a day. The bounty will always be half of whatever the reward is. Hopefully that cleared that up.
Okay, okay. Thank you for the explaining and this way really nicely. Thank you so much. Over to you, Glenn.
For the question, Sayed, let's move to Asia. You had a question for Jay at Master Key Finance. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. So I want to know, will there be any limit on minimum and maximum amount of token users can list for selling on your marketplace?
Hey, great question. So, yeah, there are some limiting factors. For instance, one wallet cannot make more than one listing of the same contact address at any one time. So you can't make 10 million token listings of the same contract. Basically, you can't list 10 listings of token X at 10 million apiece. You can do one listing of token X at 10 million or 1 trillion. That's totally up to the individual making the post. Now, one wallet can do as many listings as they want for as many tokens as is authorized to be inside the contract address. Basically, what I mean by that is you can do one listing of token X, one listing of token A, one listing of token Y, and so on and so forth, as long as X, A, and Y are one of those tokens that are authorized to be conduct business inside the portal. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah. And do token being listed for selling has to have minimum required value, or token with any value can be listed for selling?
The value's in the eyes of the holder. I'm not going to play in a Kex and a Dex game. If a holder gave $100 or 100 BUSD for token X, and token X is currently worth 5 BUSD, and he or her are hell bent on getting their 100 BUSD back, I'm going to make that happen. It may take longer, but I'm going to make that happen, given the bounty I'm placing against that token. So, as far as the value, I don't care. Will there be a mess up on the input? Absolutely. I'm sure there will be. Somebody might say, hey, it's worth 100. I want 1,000 and accidentally put in 10. Well, somebody better buy that for $10. Is worth $1,000. I'm sure that's going to happen. So, but no. But one thing I do want to cover is at any time, whoever makes the listing of a sell or a trade, they can choose to terminate at any time. Now, if that wallet chooses to terminate, the bounty goes back to the staking protocol. However, the reward is still goes to that individual that made that listing. So if they choose to terminate, they get the reward, but the bounty goes back to the protocol. So it's still of value. In a sense, all they did was soft stake instead of completing a sell or trade.
Understood. Okay, I was thinking, will users be able to list crypto dust which they have in their wallet to sell on your marketplace? Similar to some crypto exchanges allow users to trade their dust into their native token.
As far as trading for my native token, is that the question?
I'm asking about crypto dust. I mean, will users be able to list crypto dust which they have there in their wallet to sell on your marketplace? Crypto
As
dust,
long
I
as,
mean,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, go on.
As long as the token is authorized to operate within the master portal, or what that vetted list that my VIP council and my core team approve every 2 weeks to 30 days. As long as that token, regardless of what token or coin that it may be, it'll be authorized to be inside the portal. If it's authorized in the portal, absolutely. The holder has the authority to sell, trade, buy, or soft stake that contract address within the portal.
Okay, got it. And I also want to understand, when a user lists tokens for selling on your marketplace, do users have to transfer these tokens to Master Key escrow wallet? And will all the funds sent to your market by sellers will be insured in case of any exploits or cyber attacks?
Okay, so I got to be very specific here. One is not an escrow wallet, right? This is a contract, a smart contract. The transfer will be executed to a smart contract. I want you to think of a flea market or a jockey lot or a swap meet. I am, in a sense, selling you the platform, the table. I don't care what you put on it or what you ask for it, but I am going to give you charge you a flat rate fee for the table, and then I'm going to reward you for putting items on the table. So it's very important to understand that this is unlike anything that currently exists or even remotely exists. It's not an escrow account or a wallet. It is a transfer to a smart contract. Once the transfer is complete, those tokens will be, in a sense, airdropped back to those. When the transfer is complete, it completes the transfer by sending those tokens to the wallet that made the posting. There's no need to hook back up to it to confirm and all none of that other stuff. It's just going to complete the transaction for you. The words matter, especially when you're dealing with the United States government and federal regulation, right? So the SEC and all that other hoopla. So it's awful concerning. It's not an escrow account. It is a smart contract that is facilitating a trade or a sell from a holder to a holder.
Okay, and last thing from me. I was wondering, will users also be able to list NFTs for selling like any token on your marketplace as well in future?
I would say stay very tuned to February.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering.
Anytime, anytime. Appreciate the questions.
Thank you for the questions, Aisha. Let's move to Yoda. You had a question for Jay at Master Key Finance. Go ahead. You there, Yoda?
Okay, Glenn, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Well, I have questions. I definitely have a lot of questions. A beautiful innovation, I must say. Well, from what I understood from all the beautiful replies that were given by Jay here, I was able to understand one thing, right? I mean, we had past projects, so I'm not gonna give the names out, right? So we had projects, we have machine projects, we had rebase projects. We basically had a lot of projects that took in money and then splitted them, that money in multiple directions, right? And then eventually put money where it was due, making the investor happy. I'm actually trying to understand the actual use case of the project. Apart from taking money, splitting it, and then finding ways to just turn that money back to where it is duly needed, and then making investors happy, be it in the form of BUSD rewards or whatever. I just want to understand. I know it is a beautiful, beautiful concept that you guys have put here, because it takes a lot of thinking for someone to come up with a financial strategy like this, right? Maybe it can be attractive for other people that this particular guy is making a BNB a day just by staking or whatever strategy you mentioned, right? And then they're gonna jump in, because we had projects like, not gonna name, machine projects doing $10 million in total stake value. If that project can go that high, this project can go double or even triple of that, given how complex it is. But for a long-term mentality, right, there are no buys happening. For example, I'm gonna give you an example, right? I'm not gonna ask questions around, as I said, I want I am a serious investor, if you understand. So the thing is, you did your pre-sale. Say, for example, you raised $10 million, right? You raised $10 million. You did the marketing. You did whatever, gave the BUSD rewards. You did the token, etc., etc. But then eventually, for 6, 7, 8 months, there were no buys. No buys for 8 months, or maybe the buys and the sells were balanced, so no new money coming into the contract. So at that point, what method are you going to use in order to put more money into the contract? Are there any use cases apart from moving money around beautifully, the way you mentioned?
So, yeah, so I would have to say that the money that's being awarded through the Master Key Finance smart contracts is a bonus, the second and third order of effect of the primary use case, which is the soft staking functionality and the master portal itself. As long as people have tokens and they want to make money from it, they're going to utilize the use cases and the utilities. As I bring more utilities forward, which, oh, by the way, I've already paid for, by the time I launch a utility, the next utility is already paid for. And that's the way I want to stay. I want to stay as in not telling my holders something's coming. I want to tell them something's done and I'm waiting to see when I'm going to release it. And say that in honesty. As long as you're bringing case use and utility forward, there's never going to be a dry spell, hypothetical 6, 8, 10 months of no buys or sells. To me, that sounds like experience with a Ponzi scheme token, one that promises you utility or case use yet brings nothing forward. So I can't put myself in that category. I'm bringing real case use, real utility, and functionalities that are required and needed in this space. And as long as this space exists, I expect to be a flagship that's floating right down the middle of it. So as long as there's problems in the crypto space, as long as people are getting a raw deal or not happy, I'm going to have a job, because my job and my team's job every step of the way is to fix what's broken and try to give as much of that back to the holders as possible. So when I say I'm bringing real case use that's going to be available at launch, I mean it. And when I say that I'm going to be the most passive income rewarding token available, I damn sure mean it, because I'm not trying to make my pocket fat. I'm trying to show the holders that I'm being honest, and I'm bringing it right back to them. And I think at the end of the day, if your holders are happy, yeah, you got employment. You're not going nowhere. Because I look at crypto like a toolbox. Every toolbox has got to have a hammer in it. That might not be your primary tool. It might not be the tool that's used at every job. But damn it, every toolbox got a hammer, and I want to be that hammer. I don't aim to be the primary token in anybody's portfolio. Although I do think the value of master keys is going to go up exponentially enough that some people may want to. But I want to be that ray of light, that place to go when everything else is going wrong, when things just aren't working out. I want people to bring me their problems and say, hey, Jay, can you and the team at Master Key fix this problem? Give us the problem and let us see if we can find a comprehensive, deep development, thought out process in order to tackle that problem. And if at minimum, minimize the effects, but if not, squash it entirely. Right now, we cannot argue with one another. The kexes and dexes are very nefarious in their actions and deeds most of the time. It really paints the holder in a corner. You have to get this for that. There's no option. There's no way to recoup funds. There's no way to increase value of tokens. You're tied to that specific platform. I'm giving you an out, a way to give value to stuff that's not worth as much or that may be going down in value. A way to get stuff for tokens you may want to hold on to, you have no desire to get rid of. And I give you an option to say, hey, I really want this token for this token, or I want to sell this token for this much. I'm going to facilitate that happening. So as long as tokens exist, I've got employment. And I would almost give a year's salary to bet that that dry spell that was hypothetically mentioned would happen on my platform would never happen.
Yeah, well, thank you for the explanation. Well, I really like your energy and the transparency. I appreciate it. Now that you said you have put your own money into the project, and like after listening to how passionate you are, I think there's going to be something in the future. But that question still remains, right? And if you have, like you said, you already have a few of use cases in your mind. You don't want to disclose them because you never know. Maybe tomorrow I might come up with that idea and steal it, right? So I understand that you're trying to keep it a secret. But then again, like I don't know, maybe partnerships, right? Because there are a lot of DeFi good projects struggling out there. Why not do partnerships, right? Why not come? Because so far I've been in DeFi. I've been in DeFi for a long time. I've invested. I've lost money. I've made money. Not gonna criticize DeFi, but I've never found a project. I'm invested in BNB. I'm invested in Tron. I'm invested in Matic. Right? All the big boys out there. I'm invested in all of them, but when will I invest in a DeFi project, right? Because I like the DeFi space. When will I invest in a DeFi project with a real case utility? I haven't seen it. But yeah, you guys have your technology, you guys have your masterminds, whoever are gonna like come up with the financial ideas. I mean, it will work. It will work. But for me, I think if we come up with a good plan, right? You have put in money, you have a beautiful setup, you have over 350 people listening to you right now, right? Ready to invest, including myself. But coming to a point where you will pick projects and then create something beautiful. Yeah, that is all I wanted to suggest. But overall, you are a very passionate and an energetic person, I can say that. And I hope it is a success. I'm gonna throw maybe in a couple of beans myself. I'm gonna see. I would like to ride the wave. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate the good questions.
Thank you for the questions, Yoda. That's great. Let's move on to Venice. You had a question for Jay at Master Key Finance. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Glenn. So, Jay, I have a couple of the questions to ask you because I have been listening in it's been an hour, and I'm really impressed by the great concept you have. So, it got me thinking that it is possible that various sellers trying to sell same tokens on the marketplace. So, is there any premium feature that a seller can have to make his listing on the top so buyers can get attracted by this seller that he has some kind of badge or premium features so he can advertise his tokens on top of the list?
Hey, that's a good idea, but as of right now, no, there's nothing like that that exists. But that is actually one I'm going to write down, man. I don't get too many AMAs where I walk away with a good idea, and I appreciate that one. But as of right now, no. The only, I guess you would say, identifier is that with the highest bounty will be showcased on the page. A lot of, like I said, there's a lot of other case uses and utilities that are in the works right now. That kind of might sneak towards a little bit of a few of those, but that's an easy change, an easy switch, and something that I might look at in the future. But that's a good idea, and I appreciate that from you.
Okay, that's good, Jay. And I know you have been talking about partnerships, and Yoda just asked a question about partnerships. So I'm curious to know that do you have any plan to also partner up with different projects, and offer their tokens on discounted price to buyers as compared to other platforms? So I think it will grab more attention toward your project and your partnered projects if they bring some discounts through your project that people can buy.
So I've been, I had people have tried to buy my platform, Kexes and Dexes, 3 times now, and I've refused to sell every time because I'm not trying to become another same old song and dance. When I do partnerships for one reason only, and that's for the holders, not to the holder of a certain token or the holders of a certain community. I want it to be fair to any holder, whether you're a major whale in this space or you're trying to learn and get into this space. You're going to get the same deal, and it's going to be the best deal when you come and deal with Master Key Finance. There's a lot of anti-whale mechanisms in the awards processes for a reason. The same benefits are going to be offered across the board. When I say partnership, what that means to me is you're willing to come to the table and have a conversation to give the best deal possible to the holders of your community. That's that reduced tax rate. That's reducing your 12% tax for buys and sells to and understanding that hey, I'm going to do it at 8 because once that thing's moved, you're going to get your 12%, and then I'm going to use the rest as an awards function inside my platform. How I don't know yet because I'm still trying to figure that piece out because it would cause a sell off of that partnership platform, but some kind of a reward system inside my internal platform for giving the best deal to that holder. But when I say a partnership, it's to benefit the holder, not to benefit a platform.
Yeah, understood. And I hope Elon Musk give you a good money for your platform, good offer for your platform, and you end up selling it.
No, I've had some very decent offers, yes, and that's not something I'm after. I'm not after a quick buck. I'm after bringing something vital to this space. And money's easy to make in this world if man has got common sense and willing to work for it. But not too many people were able to help out other holders and other people, and that's what we aim to do here at Master Key Finance.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks for
I
the
can
questions.
understand that. Okay, uh, I have some few more questions, then, if you don't mind. Okay, yeah, just a couple of more questions. As I was reading that the buyer will have the option to relist the tokens purchased to minimize taxation of the listed token. So if buyer decide to relist these tokens and want more tokens to be added in this pool, will he still need to pay $3 listing fee for adding more tokens to that relisting pool?
If they relist the tokens they bought, this is for 2 reasons. One, no BNB charge, and two, there's no additional taxation to the tokens being listed. So it basically just you drained the bounty and you relisted the token, if that makes sense. And it starts as an award for you. Now, if you do anything else, if you add tokens to the amount of tokens that you just bought. If you change it, the scenario in any way, it's a new listing all entirely. There's a $3 BNB charge and a 10 million master key token charge in order to execute that action.
Okay, can you hear me, Jay? I just
I do hear you.
okay, my internet connection just was not working. Okay, yeah. Do you have any plan to participate in the physical gathering of crypto that happens worldwide and meet our new projects physically and share this idea to them to have their tokens listed on your platform as well and create partnerships this way?
We are fully interfaced with Web3. We've taken every approach to be prepared for the future, but nobody truly knows what the future has to hold. The only thing anybody can do, and especially from an owner standpoint, a CEO standpoint, is to position ourselves appropriately to be ready to roll with that punch when that punch comes. We do intend to, once the bridge is figured out, how to get to other platforms, to be fully integrated across all platforms via Web3 bridge. We are prepared to do so. It's finding the right process, and there's a lot of platforms that are very close to figuring it out. And once it's figured out, yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. So we're going to be everywhere. That's our goal. We absolutely want to be everywhere. We want to be a vital player in the space. We want to bring people to the DeFi community and show them the power that we have and the capabilities that we have, and showing them that what crypto really exists for, and that is decentralized finance, right? It's getting away from the banks. It's getting away from government. It's doing things on our own with our own money.
Okay, and one last thing from my side. Will there be any governance mechanism where you can give your true holders or users an opportunity to vote or submit a proposal of a token that isn't vetted by your team, so it can also be listed on your marketplace for rewards?
Yeah, like I stated earlier, so the website will have a DAO, a Dropbox. Say, hey, this is why I think this would be a good addition, and some little, reasons behind why, and most importantly, the contract address itself. We'll take that data almost weekly. We'll bring it to the VIP community, and we'll start our vetting process. But it's a discussion that happens with the VIP community first. Once it gets a thumbs up in the VIP community, then it gets kicked over to the dev department, which will absolutely dissect that code, another audit, if you will, kind of, to ensure that there's no nefarious act before it's brought onto the portal. We got to secure the portal first and foremost. Not everybody's going to be happy or see every token that they're going to be want to see inside there listed as an option. But you got to understand our standpoint. We got to protect everybody's investment.
Okay, Jay, it's been really nice talking to you, and thank you so much for answering my all questions.
Okay, thank you for the questions, Venice. Let's move to Western Beast. You had a question for Jay at Master Key Finance. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Hi, Jay. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of AMA sessions, but I enjoyed quite yours quite the most. Really detailed explanations to the project and its dynamics. So, I wanted asking, in your opinion, um, tokens that that have returns that, will I say, offer their investors returns usually have a large liquidity pool. And when I say liquidity pool, they have other big sources of income that supports the project in itself. You already made mention of the fact that you already invested your own money. Um, Over time, MasterKey is definitely going to have its threshold where it will support itself and those who invest in it. But pending that, what happens to how would master key? Are there reserve pools that can be donated in the event where things do not really go according to plan? Or what are the technical adjustments that can be made so that those who invest can continue getting returns no matter what situation arises?
Not sure I fully understand that question. Can you try to reword it for me?
Okay, so I have a project and I need people to invest in that project. Now I am promising returns, as you said, you're promising some kind of returns. What are the would I say the are there other sources of income where you can use and direct the funds back to master key so that
Okay, I
investors?
understand. I understand. The answer to that's yes, but those are in case uses that I'm not willing to talk about yet. So I'm going to say fully yes by June, July, August timeframe. 80% yes by February, March timeframe. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, I'm guessing that by hopefully, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Master key by February or March should by eight have an 80% chance to be able to, keep on settling its investors in the event that things go south. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So, let's talk about public events. Real public events. You already touched on partnerships, and in the events where you intend to seek more partners, and or other partners want to come over and want to partner with you. What can you use to assure them you already have what you're going to show them? How would you describe your potential so that these partners will be convinced that, okay, wow, this is MasterKey is actually something else, and then will definitely want to ape in. We're talking about investors who really do not have a background in, say, will I say economics, but are just interested in the project in itself.
Well, my answer to that's going to be the truth's going to be in the pudding. We're going to put a shockwave. We're changing the way crypto acts and the way they conduct business. Holders' options on how they buy, how they sell, how they trade, how they we violate staking protocol as it's currently known. I'm giving you an option to stake all of these things make major statements in the space. I think that I will have more partners as I already do than I can shake a stick at, and it's only going to grow.
Yeah, which you're actually quite convincing, and yes, I assure you, it's definitely going to grow. My next question is surrounding events, real world events that talk about that will bring more traffic. A lot of people actually interested in real world events because it brings like minds together to discuss. So aside from meeting in the e world, and by the e world I mean your socials, are there any real world events that are going to be held in the future, where, okay, yes, we are all the holders of the master key finance, come on, let's have a meet and greet session, where we can exchange ideas and innovative ideas. Are there any planned events like that?
Currently, no. Although I've already been invited to at least 3 here in the states. As you can imagine, once we released our white paper and our protocol, it's really shaken up the space, and a lot of people have more questions than they do answers. However, we have not attended one yet by design. We don't plan to attend any until after we launch. I think a lot of the questions will be answered at that time. And at that point, it's more of just an ambassadorship.
Wow, sounds good. So, do the ambassadors need to have any specific criteria to meet, before? Because most usually descend that either he has a large amount of influence or he has a large amount of coins, investment in the token. So, what's Masaki's finance thinking about when it considers, okay, I want this person to be an ambassador? Because most projects usually have one of two things: large influence, or the large is a large whale. Can you tell me about this?
Absolutely. So most of our ambassadors, almost all of them, have reached out and said, "Hey, do you care if we champion for?" Very few I've reached out and said, "Hey, I'd like you to look at what we got and let's have a conversation." I'm going to use Travel as an example. A very smart individual. He dissected my white paper, and then we had about an hour and a half long video conference to just talk about the tokenomics of the token because he had questions. And once we just explained everything and I answered all his questions, he came back to me about a week later and says, "Hey, not only do I want to be a holder, but I also want to be an ambassador." Well, that's powerful. That's somebody doing their homework and not just taking money. I don't want to throw money at anything. If I throw money at anything, it's going to be my holders, not something without confirmed ROI or return on investment. I want to throw money at my holders and make them be the ones that carry the water. They go out and that spread the word and tell people what's going on and how phenomenal this can be. Because at the end of the day, that's where the grassroots power's at. All the people who throw money at things, they get that short win and it's dead in less than a year's time. I don't want to be that. I'm not here for 1 or 2 years. I would like to be a major staple in this community for 1 or 2 decades. And that's only because I haven't came out with version 2 yet.
Wow, yeah, something that actually has no end. That's quite resourceful. I think I know Traveler is he loves paying attention to detail. Okay, here's a statement on your white paper that I would like more understanding on, if you don't mind. The MKF team is actively working with platforms that do or do not charge a transfer tax. The goal is to waive or adjust these taxes when working with MKF platform to benefit the holder. Truth be told, tax is actually one of the major revenue sources. But now I see that you guys are trying to put some kind of flexibility, would I put it that way? Some kind of flexibility when paying in relating to tax associated things. So when you say that you want to reduce the charge transfer, do you guys have any plans to do it in a kind of subsidized way? Is there some kind of subsidy, like a subsidy related activity when it comes to taxes?
Not necessarily a subsidy. Remember, the reason I say that is for two reasons. One, let's say I authorize a token onto my platform that doesn't want to partner with me and they have a transfer tax. Well, then that the whole action gets taxed twice. Let's say it's a 10% tax. It's a 20% tax by the time the buyer gets the tokens. That's not fair. That's greed. And that's not what my platform's about. So at the end of the day, I probably wouldn't list that token with the authorization inside my platform. I'm going to be honest with you because it's not good to the holder. And I'm only about being good to the holder. Now, will that upset holders that want that token on the platform? Probably. But that's where the partnership comes in. I want them to whitelist me. Hey, I will ensure you get that 10% tax, but it's not going to be 20. And then I would make a deal to the community. I say, hey, check it out. One, I want to have a little bit because I want to trigger a rewards function within my platform. And 6% is better than 10% every day of the week. But if each holder pays 6%, the seller's happy, the buyer's happy, the platform should be happy because I'm going to give them their 10%. But I'm going to keep 2% inside my platform to be sold off and rewarded to my community. That's kind of the gist there. And that's what I mean by we'll make every attempt to partnership with platforms in order to give the best deal, first and foremost, to the holder, to not be either advertently or inadvertently damaging to another platform, because I do not want to do that, and all around make a good transaction. I think it can totally be done, and I think it should have been done a long time ago. It needs to be done to take care of the holders. One, think about the value to the platform that decides to partner with me. The chances of somebody selling or transferring all of their tokens at one time is very slim to none, especially with only a 10 million max one-to-one reward process within my platform. So they're probably going to hold on a little bit. So as a platform holder or owner, I know now that my token is probably going to be not in one holder's hands, but now two. Not only that, the visibility that I'm going to give with everybody coming on there and looking to see what's available, the visibility that that token's going to get that it may not be getting due to bad marketing or just a bad space that they're operating in, or a stovepipe to marksmanship where they're not looking at very opportunities. I mean, marketing itself should be almost a 30-prong approach, not a three. So if they're not getting that piece right, they're not going to get their name on the street or showing what they offer. Now this marketplace, this portal is going to provide that opportunity for them. Would there be a tax? Ideally, yes, there should be, because if the platform requires it, then absolutely, because then the whole process is done without discourse. And to be honest with you, I'm at secure third party, vetted, fully docs KYC. There's secure third party that if you make a deal with someone to transfer tokens for something, I'm going to facilitate that process. Hey, come on over here. Let's make it happen. Swap, trade, done, good to go. But there's still a taxation process that takes care of the platform, but takes care of the holder first. And I think that's critical.
Well, Jay, I did not think about it this way. Normally, three-way symbiotic relationships that's beneficial to all three parties is sometimes quite impossible to pull off. But I think with the way you put it, something could actually, come out of this. I'm going to listen to the AMA again. I do have a few more questions, but they are not really in an orderly chain of thoughts. But I'll definitely be asking them in your socials. Jay, I want to thank you for answering my questions with quite detail. I wish Master Key Finance the best, and I hope things go the way it is in the blueprints. Over to you, Glenn.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate the questions as well.
Thank you for the questions, Western Beast. We've got about 5 minutes left here, but yeah, we're running out of time a bit. But yeah, so maybe if you can do a recap, Jay, over the Master Key Finance for anyone that joined the AMA halfway through and missed the first half.
Hey, absolutely. So, what we've been talking about, a lot of great things that Master Key's bringing to the space. First and foremost, we're a tax token that provides passive income. But we're unlike many others, if not most others. We're bringing real case use and utilities to the open space right out the gate, available on day one. These case uses and utilities, in short, put the power back into the holder's hands. And we provide value and will increase and give value to tokens that may be underperforming, overperforming, or not performing at all. We aim to be a staple in this place. We aim to be a workaround to any KEX or DEX that may be taking advantage of holders in this space. To provide a real world platform portal, if you will, that allows for the holder to go in and say, hey, I want this for this, or I want that for that. And I'm going to reward the entire process with a token that's going to be unmatched in passive income with any other token in the DeFi space. That I'll guarantee.
Okay, awesome, Jay. Yeah, it's been great speaking to Jay from Master Key Finance today. You can see the passion and commitment he has around crypto, and that's what investors like to hear. It's always a confidence boost to get involved with projects where you can see, the core team's really excited and dedicated around their project. So that shines through definitely. So that's great to hear for our community investors today. I think we've got Spin the Wheel as well. So if Anti's there, we can do spin the wheel for 2 lucky winners, $50 each.
Hey, Glenn.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to give you 5 whitelist slots as well, man. So 5 whitelist slots. All I ask is that you collect the addresses. You figure out who the winners are, and please send those addresses to me, and I'll ensure that they get on the list. They'll be one of the 400. So 5 of them total for your community.
Great, Jay. Yeah, maybe if anyone calls
extra prizes here for our community. That's always great. Yeah, I have the wheel up, Glenn. Do you see it with everybody? Is it coming through? Yeah. Okay, so I'll shuffle the wheel around. I'll spin it twice. We'll do 2 lucky winners for $50 each, and then Jay graciously agreed to give us 5 whitelist spots. So we'll put up probably something around those, or maybe we'll pull it out to some people that engaged with us. We'll see. So that's great. And I know sometimes we keep things a little high level, and there might be a lot of other technical details, or sorry about that, certain aspects that you're curious about. So we do have all the socials in the main chat. Sorry, give me a second here. There we go, and the wheel has spun. This is the second winner. I've collected your IDs as well. So as I was saying, we try to keep it high level, but if you're curious, if you're more on the technical side, make sure to visit the official links. We have all the links in the main chat right there. So just go to the official website, read through it, and there's quite a lot of information on the white paper as well. And if you want to, dive a little bit deeper, I'm sure if you join the socials, the team will be more than happy to explain any and all parts of the system. but I feel like this has been great. So I wanna thank everybody for tuning in, and Jay for being here. This is really something really interesting, and it's these kind of projects and teams and that you want to be following, because yes, we are in a bearish or bear market, or looking for that upcoming uptrend, but this is the time when you want to look for things that are being built, things that are being developed in the space, and especially by people that have been around for a while. And when it comes to passive income, it sounds like Jay has a really strong point here to make. So I'm curious what's going to be coming with the future utilities as well. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been a great one, and we'll have the recordings available also. It'll be on YouTube. We'll post it in chat for anybody that missed it, and yeah, it's really been awesome. So thank you Jay for being here, and yeah, thanks Glenn for the hosting and everybody participating. And if you do have more questions, the chat is still locked. We'll keep it locked for another minute or so, and the official links are right there. You can find it in our announcement channels. Stay safe out there, guys. Don't get lost along the way. So yeah, cheers everyone. This has been a great one.
Yeah. And also, I think, Jay's kindly offering 5 whitelist spots there. So if we say anyone that's joined into the call today or is listening back to it, the first 5 people that go into their Telegram, say I'm from Whalecoin Talk, you can win one of them whitelist spots. So the quickest in, the quickest there. And thanks very much, Jay, for coming in, and take care.
Hey, thank you, and thank you for mentioning that as well.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.